Hello, and welcome back to the Zone 2 podcast. We're here again for the Tour de France, and today is the rest stage. So we're going to go over everything that's happened so far and kind of go through everything and go through our predictions and all that. So let's just get straight into it with stage one. So, what happened on stage one?
Before we start, we should mention that we are once again joined by Evan Richardson. Thank you
Hello.
for
This is true.
joining us. Thank you for joining us. Now,
Evan
stage one.
Richardson.
Stage one. Evan, please tell us what happened on the first stage of the tour. 2021.
First stage of the tour, very exciting day. We saw, I think I predicted it, Luke predicted it, Julian.
You guys were
Julian
both right.
Alaphilippe.
I think I said Vanderpool. I definitely said Vanderpool. Vanderpool, one of my favorite riders. Definitely top two current favorite riders. Between him and Cav, of course. So, I was a little bit biased. I fell for the story about his grandfather. Luckily, he was able to get the jersey the next day. But
Spoilers! Oh my god! I didn't know he got it the next day.
My bad. I'll get to that later.
Wow.
But yeah, I really wanted him to win, but I'm happy for Julian too.
Yeah, we love to see Julian in yellow. French love it. It's their tour. I was also really interested today because it was like we saw a Roglic-Pogačar dynamic starting, which sadly is not going to be something we'll see very much of for the rest of the tour. Now that Roglic has abandoned.
He left the tour?
He left the tour, yeah.
Oh, I thought he might. He's probably going to go for the Vuelta now, isn't he?
So did Vanderpool. Vanderpool also left the tour this morning.
Yeah.
Or after the stage, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Earlier.
But God, what a stage to watch to the first stage. I was so sure it was going to go down to a sprint, but then Julian just attacked with, 2K to go up that climb and he won by quite a significant margin. It was beautiful. And then he did the whole thing for his son, the bottle gesture for his son. So that was really cute. Yeah. And then that put him in yellow. Okay. On the prediction sheet, me and Evan got it right and Mark got it wrong. However, if we look at the sheet, I got the first one and then the rest are just zero.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the only one that you got right.
It's just
not even a second or a third.
Wait, can I change? What are we gonna do? Because now Primoz isn't in it,
it,
and I had him winning 4 stages.
Yeah, I think we'll change it at the end of the pod. We'll just go through at least for the next week, and then next week we'll do another rest day pod, and we'll do it for the final week. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think a really important thing we should notice is the most combative award went to Bora Hansgaard's L. Schilling.
Edith Schelling.
That's Edith Schelling.
Okay.
Yeah, this whole first week, especially in the first half, you just saw him always going up the road, always sprinting for the KOM points. Just you love to see it. It makes it exciting to watch. Have people go for them, even though you're picking up 1 or 2 points on these Cat 3, Cat 4 climbs. It's never gonna compare. I think the second ascent of Ventoux has 40 points for the first person passing. So peanuts to get the 1 point, but you get to wear the jersey. It makes the race exciting. So props to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Something that's
okay. Second,
so we shouldn't. I got one more thing. Stage one we should talk about. It's a little bit. Okay. It's going to be a reoccurring theme for the next few stages, but something that we don't love to see. There were a lot of crashes.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
including 2 major crashes
that knocked out the entire field.
Yeah, so we should talk briefly, maybe not too long, but briefly about so the first crash, for those who don't know, the peloton had just gone over it was a Cat 4 climb, and there was a fan on the side of the road with a sign, and Tony Martin ran right into it, and it caused basically the entire peloton to crash. I'm sure you've seen the video. It's been everywhere, posted not just on cycling channels, but all sport
Yeah.
channels, even like Bleacher Report and
I've seen it
Like
on
New
meme
York
boards.
Times is writing about it. It's
I
the
know, it's
most
like
I've seen the tour talked about like ever.
And
so
also
it's
like meme pages even are posting about it, and like random YouTubers who do video game content talked about it.
yeah, it's a pretty big deal because it just wiped out so many people. So
Yeah.
I just thought we should acknowledge that. I don't know how much we really want to talk about it.
Yeah.
'Cause
I think we should talk about it. It's a very
I think
interesting thing.
crashing is just a really like big part of the pro peloton, and it's never going to go away. But when the
Dude.
crash is caused by not the riders themselves, there needs to be someone to blame. And obviously, the person there they made a huge mistake, but you have to feel slightly bad for them too, because they never intended to crash,
Mhm.
100 people. But I know
Yeah.
up to the race organizers policing the roads, trying to make safer routes.
Yeah, I should
Awareness.
say after the stage, I was pretty irritated by Eurosport and GCN because they were talking about how like she's like this awful person, like not even a fan, like trying to like really demean her and make her like seem like some monster, where really it's just lack of judgment and not being aware, which it wasn't very good, but it's not like she's not a human anymore.
I believe so she was a fugitive for a while. She like went and hid. They thought she fled the country. And then she got taken into custody. But I believe they dropped all criminal charges.
Mm.
So only she might get sued. I don't know if it's completely over, but I don't think she'll have any legal punishment.
Yeah, because I think Mark Soler wanted to sue her because that route he had to leave the tour, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting. Quite something. Yeah, it was weird because it was just like such a little. It was just a tiny bit on the road. Like it wasn't like she was standing in the middle of the road. Like it was just enough that one person hit it and then everyone went down. And then the other crash was just a riding incident, wasn't it? Someone touched
Yeah,
wheels.
some bobbling of wheels at 70 plus k an hour downhill, and you go down hard.
Yeah, so that was pretty rough.
So we move on to stage 2.
Yeah, stage 2.
You
Before
know who
we
won
move
stage 2
on,
though? Okay, sorry. Before I move on,
yeah, moving
I'm
on.
kind of
Before we
quite
move
excited.
on, we're doing a giveaway. So we have these boxes here from Born, and they include a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, we have some. They gave us some so we could try them out, try the products, and they come with a bunch of they come with bars. Big thing, water bottles. I've been using these for the last week because
They're really good.
I always need water bottles. They're good water bottles. A buff, very cool. Yeah, lots of bars, gels. So a lot of cool stuff. And you can win one of these for yourself by going to our Instagram account. And by the time this podcast comes out, we will have some content on there about it. Post. I was just taking the photos for it. So got it. So yeah, go check that out. Make sure you enter for a chance to win some cool free stuff because you always like, why not? You can get some free stuff. Might as well, right? Okay, on to stage 2.
And also our Instagram is at Zone2 Podcast, by the way, for those who don't know. And if you want to buy some Born, go to bornsportcare.ca and use code Zone2 Podcast.
Yeah, that's true. They make good stuff. It's like, yeah, I really want water bottles. And I also really like the saying that you are one ride away from a good mood. That's cool. That has a lot of deep or meaning to me because when I get upset, I go bike riding and it always makes me feel better. But oh well. Let's move on. But yeah, go check out our Instagram. We'll be posting about that and you can win some free Born stuff. And if you want some stuff anyway, just go to born.com or .ca. I think it's .ca. It's Canada. And check out their stuff. Code Zone2 for 50% off. Okay, stage 2. Peros from stage 2 was 183k from Peros Gukak to I'm not going to pronounce these again. We
Word to
we
Britannia.
did this already. It's
The Wall of
183.
Brittany.
The Wall of Brittany. Oh yeah, there was like some stuff about that. The Wall of Brittany. So they did 2 laps. I'm not sure exactly where it started, but they did 2 laps of the same hill. And Matthew Vanderpool attacked on the first hill, and everyone thought that's what was
Yeah.
gonna like decide it, and then he was gonna do a whole thing. But then he actually got caught because everyone went for the top of the hill as well, because at the top of the hill there was time bonuses, and so they all kind of went for that. And then we had the second round, and then the second round he did another huge attack and made this absolutely massive win. I can't even remember by how much. It was like a few seconds, wasn't it? Like 15 seconds from the main field,
I think a
something
little
like
bit
that.
less than that.
Yeah,
8 or 10
yeah.
for most of
But
the
it
riders.
was like a big break, and yeah, it was really impressive. And it was really the interview was very touching afterwards with
I
him,
was
like,
tearing up a little bit when he was
yeah, me
talking.
too. Yeah, talking about his grandfather and his dad and all that stuff. Yeah. And I like when they like asked him questions and he just goes like he's just in shock. It's so good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this
what
was
do you
this
guys
was
think of the stage?
crazy exciting. Because I think everyone thought Alaphilippe was just gonna crush it again after how dominantly he won stage one, and this was even more suited to him. But that first, so those 8 bonus seconds, when Vanderpool went for those, we could like really tell he was gunning for the win because he went full. He said that in his interview. He was like, I gave absolutely everything for the time bonuses, and then just was like, hope I recover. So he was holding nothing back. And for Vanderpool, who's not, particularly climbing type rider, to just absolutely crush the likes of like Alaphilippe, Roglic, Pogacar on this super punchy climb, and to have already like kind of shown his hand on the bonus seconds of how he was going to attack, and for it to still work out is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, Vanderpool is like one of my top 2 favorite riders. I mean, I was just super excited. To see him win. Fortunately, it wasn't that great for my fantasy because I believe I picked off the stage winner bonus, but it's okay. I still have Vanderpool on my team. So we're okay.
Mm. Yeah, it was quite something. I have to say, I thought he blew it on the first hill because then suddenly he was like done, and I thought he just blew everything on that first climb, and he was going to be done. So I was really shocked when he did another huge attack up the second climb. Um, there was also some more crashes on that stage, which was not so good. Was it Garrett Thomas? No, I think Garrett Thomas crashes next stage,
I think it was stage
and
3 that had
Roglic.
most of the crashes.
Yeah, the
Yeah, but
first
there was
Stage 3 had a lot.
first 3 days just had really a lot of crashes, and I mean, basically every rider crashed at some point. I don't think
yeah.
really anyone came out completely unscathed, or their team for sure not unscathed. The kind of big notable people to crash out or crash really out of form are Thomas, Roglic, Ewan, Mark Soler, right?
Yeah, Mark Soler stage 1 went down hard in the first big crash for Federer.
Yeah, knocked him out.
And just those crashes, completely changed the race. Not having Roglic, not having Ewan, not having Thomas on form.
Well, we
So
haven't
hate to
gotten
see
to
it.
Ewan's one yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was. I guess let's just go to stage 3 then. So stage
Yeah,
3,
while we talk about this.
I know Luke, you want to do the transitions, but I felt it was fitting for me to do it. Stage 3 began with, I believe, Geraint Thomas crashing over a speed bump and dislocating his shoulder.
And they put it right back in, and he finished.
yeah,
Is he still in?
Finished.
yeah. He's still
Yep,
there, I
still
believe.
there, but he
Oh yeah, for Carapaz.
he's lost a lot of time now. So he's working for the team. But then yeah, that was just a sign of things to come. And Evan, what else happened?
I mean, just absolute carnage the whole day. Uh, Sprint stage, it should have been fairly tame, but the end was just super technical. And I believe the
Mhm.
big crash happened because there was, a super fast twisting descent kind of into the sprint finish. And at that late in the race, no one's slowing down, no one's stopping to neutralize like we saw in the first stage. And I believe uh, it happened because Mohoric was leading uh, the pack with Jack Haig in his wheel, and they just couldn't follow his wheel. Like Mohoric is such a good descender that the fact that he was setting the pace and the tempo through these turns was kind of just too much for the peloton to handle, and a huge, crazy pileup downhill happened, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. And yeah, like you mentioned, Jack Haig went down really, really bad and had to get stretchered out. So you hate to see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think this stage there were a lot of just concerns about the safety of the course as well, which would like lead to protest on stage 4. I'll get to in a second. But yeah, in the sprint, what happened?
I mean, it was just who made it to the sprint, really, with so many people getting caught behind crashes. But there were a ton of Alpecin riders who made it through. Their train kind of sneaked past the crashes. And I mean, they have one of the strongest sprint teams at the race. And if you look at the results, I believe they have 3 riders in the top 10. So they pretty comfortably sprint to the finish. Merlier taking the win, Philipsen, his lead out man, taking second.
Wow.
And yeah, that's where we saw Caleb Ewan crash along with Peter Signan. These two went down, which was the end of Caleb's tour. And yeah, it was
Yeah,
some
that
like
one.
serious domination by Alpecin. It's like sort of reminiscent of Legion in the US crit scene, just like
Or Devo in the Thursday night crit.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, Caleb
Uh,
Ewan just bumping wheels, going down, basically in the sprint already, and taking
that
Sagan
was
with him.
pretty. Yeah. Oh my gosh, sorry. I did 5
So
hours
no
today.
Ewan, which I mean, if you remember from the preview pod, we were all picking him for multiple stages.
Yeah.
He's definitely the strongest sprinter at the race, but if he's not here, Cav's been winning, so I'm not too upset that it's giving an opportunity to Cav.
He's coming for Merckx. Merckx is scared right now. Merckx is scared.
Awaken.
Yeah. Spoilers. Well, let's move on to stage 4 then, where I'm sure Mark, you want to introduce this one?
Stage 4. Yes. Well, like I said, it started with a protest. Lots of concerns about safety from the day before. They stopped once the neutral section ended for a minute, um, just basically a protest to the UCI and to the ASO about the safety of the course. But stage 4, I think, was a relatively safe race. Weren't any major crashes, and it was a pretty flat one again. And you know who won it in the sprint? Was my man Mark Cavendish, getting his first win in
Woo!
like 5 years, I believe, in the same
No.
city. Let me know.
Oh, in the same city. I thought you meant he had
Yeah.
one in 5 years.
Yeah, it's his same city as he won his first race with, or his last race with Quickstep, something like
Yeah,
that.
his last race with Quickstep, and then he won a couple others like out of Dimension Data.
There was a great video in the town. There was like a bike rack or a little sign that, it was like Mark Cavendish won here. He's like his 30 wins at the Tour de France. And he came over with like a Sharpie and he scratched out 30 and wrote 31 and then signed the sign. And that was just so cool to see. Because it's like they had put a sign up, right? Like he hasn't won. He's not gonna win again. And like we wrote history and then he kind of got to rewrite the story, which was really cool.
That sign
Cool.
needs updating yet again.
Does.
But we'll get to that in a bit. Other things on the stage, nothing really. Mark Cavendish also took the green jersey off Julian Alaphilippe, which is appropriate. I really hope Tajay doesn't take the polka dot in green again, because that would be not so
I
cool.
don't think he'll take green.
No,
Bold prediction.
but
Bold prediction. He will not win green. Oh, also we got to talk about Brett Van Moor in stage 4. How can we forget that?
Heartbreak.
Brett Van Moor, Lottis Sedal rider.
Oh yeah, wait. Oh, that was the craziest thing watching it. And like
Yeah.
he made it to 200 meters to go.
So there was a solo breakaway by well, he was actually with Michael Shaw, but then he attacked him and he was solo, Brett Van Moor. And the chase from behind was a little bit late in organizing and it was looking like, will they catch him, will they not? It's sort of 50-50. And in the end, it was Julian Alaphilippe who did the final pull to get Quick Step and Cavendish in position to sprint and breakaway. She's very fit. Green jersey world champion, leading up Cavendish.
Yeah, the team
fun to see.
culture at Quick Step right now has just got to be, off the charts. They're just all working for each other, all in super high spirits. It's just like, that is perfect. They're winning. What else could you ask for?
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is also first race. It's kind of a theme, but we see Alpecin sprint for Philipsen, which is a very questionable decision when they had Merlier in these races, because Merlier, won before. They're trying to share the wins around. Philipsen's younger, give him chances. But at the Tour of Turkey, Philipsen lost, the 4 stages to Cavendish. So putting him head to head against Cavendish when Merlier is the faster sprinter is not the best tactical decision. It's more team morale decision, which at the Tour de France, you should really just be trying to win.
Right then, on to stage 5, I guess now. And I think, can you give us the rundown of stage 5?
Stage
As
5
Luke is eating a
ITT.
born bar. You should just say that Luke is
I
eating a
am.
born bar.
Not gonna lie, I did not watch the time trial. I'm a big fan.
Evan. Oh my God, how could you?
Big fan of watching time trials at the end of the race when there's some narratives to talk about. But this early, I'm pretty happy to watch some highlights, look at the results as they're coming in on my phone. But I think the big story is just Pogačar asserting pure
No, the
dominance.
big story was Matthew.
A story for sure, but I think Pogačar just putting this much time into everyone. He was fastest at every single time gate, right? I believe, and just like for him to be at this time trialing form, kind of set the stage that if you want to beat him in this race, you have to have time on him before stage 20.
Yeah, I did watch the stage. Woke up at 6 to watch the time trial. Yeah, I mean, it's a big time zone, with the tours. It's a struggle. We do it. I've been doing it every year since 2004. But yeah, it was definitely fun just to see, because obviously I'm a Van der Poel fan. I wanted him to keep the yellow really badly, so I was really cheering for him. And yeah, it was close between if he was going to keep it or not, and eventually he did. So I was quite happy about that.
I believe he was saying in like his interviews that they were up till midnight the night before, like working on his time trial position because they just didn't expect him to kind of still be in this, be in yellow and be going for it. So just like what a good team effort, like all the team staff, Van der Poel staying up late the night before, just like cramming for a test, except the test is a Tour de France time trial. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was pretty incredible that he kept it by 3 seconds, I think it was. 3 or 4 seconds.
8.
8 seconds. Wow.
He kept
Yeah.
it. That's what matters.
Yeah, but by such a fine margin, which was the most amazing part. Yeah, it was really good. That was the most exciting part. Seeing if he'd keep yellow, because if Tajay, took it then, it'd be like, but luckily he didn't, and it kept the tour interesting for a few more days.
Also, we saw Roglic have a decent time trial, which we maybe thought he'd be all right. He was not, but it was also good to see that Roglic still had a fairly good time trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Even though,
considering his crashes and that picture that he posted on his Instagram,
yeah.
The mummy.
which, yeah, I mean, just like that, you could just ride a bike is like quite something with all of that road rash and like the time trial bike, like in that position. That's rough. Also, Garen Thomas, he had a bad TT. I mean, he did dislocate his shoulder like 2 days before, and I'm sure riding in TT bars with a recently dislocated shoulder is not fun at all, but certainly not the TT he hoped for, and that sort of was a sign that his GC hopes for this year may be coming to an end.
Yes. Very sad.
Stage 6, though.
Okay.
You know what happened on stage 6, everybody?
Let me guess. Julian Alaphilippe. No. Right. Tell me.
Not at all. It was Cav again.
Woo!
Yet again, Cavendish
32.
won his 32nd career Tour stage win, just 2 away from tying the all-time record.
Beautiful. Saw
Is it
Alpecin
actually
sprint for
34?
Philipsen again. Again, not the best decision. Slightly controversial, but Cavendish did do a pretty extreme line deviation, and it would be totally within the rules to DQ him for this stage. They're not going to. I don't want them to, but
They could.
if
It is
other
true.
sprinters had done the same thing, they would have got DQ.
That may be true, but still.
Like Buhani here,
You're right.
or even just
They
like
would've.
if Philipsen had done the same thing. If Grunewagen had done the same thing.
I mean, Groenewegen effectively did do the same thing and got a 9-month ban. I mean, just it sort of like. I mean, obviously, Cav. I love Cav a lot. Not saying he should have been, but he definitely could have been DQ'd.
But he didn't, so
Yeah.
it's 32.
32, 2 away, which he definitely will break this year.
Well, are you going for
Is
tie?
there
Or are you
enough?
going for the win?
I'm going for, I think he's going to tie it, and then in Paris, he's going to break it.
That
That would be insane.
that would be
That's what I'm saying.
I
He's
would
That'd be
gonna
crazy.
win tomorrow when this comes out, though, stage 10. He's gonna win tomorrow.
Oh, I
100%
thought tomorrow was the rest day, was
guaranteed.
it?
Tomorrow is the
stage
rest. Well,
10.
today is the rest day because
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Because
we
it's
recorded
not Sunday,
early.
it's Monday.
we're
Mhm.
coming out tomorrow. So when you're listening to this tomorrow, he's gonna win, 100% guaranteed. You heard it here. Probably not first because it's not exactly a bold take, but Cav is gonna win, and then he's gonna win the stage 19, one
Carcassonne.
before the time trial. It's flat, the one before the time trial. He's gonna win that, and then he's going to win.
Champs-Élysées.
Clip that. We're gonna clip that when that happens. Okay. When he wins those exact 3 stages, stage 10, stage 19, and stage 21. Our counts.
Just gotta keep making it there.
That'd be pretty insane.
If we keep having these breakaways and UA is not worried about chasing them, it can be really hard to make the time cut. So we'll see. But it
Yeah,
could be a
well, I think-
very, very reduced sprint field coming into the end of this race.
I think UAE does care. They're just not strong enough.
We'll talk about that when we
Yeah.
talk about the next week.
Sorry for the interruption, but I need to let you know that this episode of the Zone 2 podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Born Superior Sports Care. David Miller and Michael Wegner, the go-to guys when it comes to all things nutrition. Born is my personal favorite when it comes to all things sport nutrition and sport care. Personally, I'm a big fan of the ISO Pro Plus drink mix. I use it all the time. Some other customer favorites include the Watson Minerals for nutrition and hydration, gels for preventing bonking while racing, no friction cream to keep you comfortable while riding or racing, and Recovery Relax to do exactly that after a long, long day in the saddle. To buy some of Born's fantastic product, please visit bornsportcare.ca for Canadian orders and bornsportcare.com for American orders. and use code ZONE2podcast for 15% off all non-sale items. That's code ZONE2podcast for 15% off all non-sale items. Now, back to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
stage 7. Stage
Stage
7.
7, another Slovenian. I thought we had enough of them with Pogačar and the other guy. And shockingly, I've never heard of this dude. But what are we on
What?
stage? We're on
How you
stage.
never-
What did we just say?
7.
Which stage are we on? 7. Oh, I thought. Damn, I thought Evan got this right. He didn't.
I love Mohoric. I'm quite the big fan of him. I missed by one stage in the preview pod. In my fantasy team, I did captain him for this stage, which helped me crush everyone else in the league on this day. So I was
I was one of
pretty
the
set
others
on
that
him.
got crushed.
He is super exciting rider, one of the inventors of the super tech. He was doing it to win junior world championship, which he won as a first year and a second year, I believe. And so this was the longest stage in the tour in over 20 years. And Mohoric has won a Giro stage and a Vuelta stage, and they have both been the longest stages of those respective races. So like a 230K day and a 200K day. So Mohoric, really good descender, good from the break, really good on long days. So I'm not surprised he won today. He's one of my favorite riders. Yeah, I was stoked. I was happy all day.
Yeah.
I was very
pretty amazing.
disappointed because Evan doing that well was not at all good for my fantasy. Because I went from 3rd to 4th because Evan shot up to 3rd in the Escape Velocity Diva League.
Shout out to my dad, who's in a dominant first position and has been the entire.
I don't understand that, man. It's like
He's made some great calls. He's made some great calls. He brought in Cav, in time for Cav's second win. He had Matthews on stage 1 for that, incredible performance in the green jersey early on. It's nice sprint points. Anyways, yeah, shout out to my dad. He's not going to watch this, but he is dominating fantasy.
Anyway, it's comeback season for me. It's comeback season. There's 11 more stages. I'm going for redemption. I'm only in 4th. Like, that's not too bad. So I can definitely make it up. So get ready.
Yeah. Was this the stage or is it the next one that Van der Poel did his attack?
This was the really long stage where Van der Poel and Van Aert were attacking together.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Like the two of them just attacking was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they take a minute out of everyone or something like that crazy?
Well, this was a really exciting stage because there was like a 27-man break that was basically had at least the top like 15 classics riders at the tour. Like this was the craziest break with all the like big rulers, big engines, Van der Poel, Van Aert, Asgreen, Stuyven, just all these guys. So there's no possible way UAE could control it since they had no representation in the break. So they were just pacing all day, lost.
And they didn't. And they didn't have the leader's jersey, but now anyway.
No, they did not.
Because it's still Matthew at this point in the leaders. Oh, Mohoric also took the polka dot from the stage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I thought Van Aert and Matthew Van der Poel riding together was really cool. Stage 8, 150K, more mountainous this time. A lot of Cat 1 climbs. And this was the one that happened yesterday, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. 2 days.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
2 days
yesterday.
ago. No, not yesterday. 2 days ago. Saturday. And this was the one where Tadej Pogačar just decided that enough was enough.
Yep.
Pretty much. It's a good way to put it, Luke. It's a good way to put it.
Dominated the time trial. He, just had the day before where his team had to do all this work. And then he was like, well, maybe instead of making my team do all this work, I should just let everyone know that I'm going to win no matter what. And they should all race for second. and they should pace down each other. So he just attacked, absolutely ruthless, dominated everyone. No one could even get close to following him. He's catching almost the entire break. Only Tons didn't get absorbed from him, even though they had like a 6-minute gap. Yeah, just pure screw you, I'm winning the tour, race for second. Have fun.
Definitely some incredible stuff there. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else you can say. This guy is just crazy. That's crazy. And like Soren Craig Anderson's face when he passed him was just that's like that's everyone's sentiment when Pogacar was doing what he was doing. It's just like, how are you doing that? Yeah. So that's just that. Yeah. I mean, there's really no words can describe that.
I'd say it really does ruin this whole thing for me that both Geraint Thomas and Roglic are like knocked out, because now it's just like he wins and like that's it. No one's his level. Where if they both were fine and they both were okay, then there might actually be some competition. And it's like, oh, which one of them is going to take it? But now it's just like it's him. He's going to win. That's that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair sentiment. I definitely agree. If Thomas and Roglic didn't crash early on, it would be more of an interesting GC battle. But really, there's so many storylines of the tour to pay attention to, not just the GC. I mean, there's the stage wins, there's the battle for second and third on the podium, there's all the jerseys, there's all
Cav,
these things.
It's
Cav winning,
Cav's his
Cav
own
winning,
storyline.
getting the all-time stage record. There's a whole bunch of storylines that I'm really deeply invested in, other than simply the yellow jersey.
and the
So
battle for the podium is also really competitive and really
it's
exciting.
really tight.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah,
We saw Mike Woods up in the break. Kind of talked
That's
about it on
true.
the podcast, but terrible descender. We love you, Mike Woods. Descend better, and you'll win more stages. Yeah. So it looked like he was, riding off to a stage win for a little while there, but went a little bit early, couldn't hold very good pace on the descent. Still rode into third, which is nice to see.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, then we go to stage 9, which was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Um,
Yesterday.
yeah. So Evan, let's can we get a little not preview, debrief of stage 9?
Yeah, another first mountaintop finish. But group UAE now sitting pretty comfy. Not too worried about a break going. Potentially winning the stage. I believe the closest man to GC who got in the break was Guillaume Martin, sitting at 7, almost 8 minutes back on Pogacar. So
But
not too
the
much of a
break did
threat.
actually have 8. The break, I think 10K to go, had an 8-minute lead over the Pogacar. So it actually was quite a threat at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a lot of time to pace it back. And also, it's not the worst thing to lose the jersey to anyone in that break, really, by like under 2 minutes. But yeah, another break day. We had Higuita and Quintana, kind of these two tiny Colombians, along with Ben O'Connor, who's not a tiny Colombian. I think he's 6'2". And they were just kind of out all day. Quintana going for some KOM points, trying to make it exciting. But I think he maybe gassed himself out a little bit, because we see Ben O'Connor kind of just go at it solo on the final climb, open up a huge gap, and take a pretty dominant solo victory, put himself all the way up to second place in GC after being almost 8 or 9 minutes down at the start of the day. Take home a stage win and also make a whole bunch of sprinters not make the time cut, since he set the finish time so early.
Yeah, we should touch on that. So, who are some of the notable names that missed a time cut today? Obviously, Cav made it. 'cause
Damar
Cav
did
is-
not make it. Hurts my fantasy team. Obviously a sprinter, not good at climbing. But yeah, it's just really tough time cut. You saw Cav kind of celebrating over the line, I think,
Yeah.
with his teammates because he made the time cut. Greg Van Avermaet, Olympic champion, made the time cut by 5 seconds. So a really hard day for everyone in the gruppetto to just survive. I don't know if there's any more really notable people who didn't make the time cut, Mark.
Not the time cut, but I feel like we forgot to say that a couple people didn't start today. Actually, a few people. So we got Primoz Roglic didn't start today. We're gonna talk about his injuries. He lost all the time. I guess who knows what he's gonna focus on now? Maybe the Olympics, maybe the Vuelta. Van der Poel abandoned, not because of any injury, but just that he wants to focus on mountain bike Olympics, which he said before the tour. So no surprises there. And also his teammate, stage 3 winner, Tim
Mhm.
Merlier, also abandoned.
Yeah, so I mean, just looking at the sprint field now, we have Cav, Phillipson still here, Buhani, Sees Bowl, but Damar's not here. Merlier's not here.
Sagan,
Sagan's still here?
yeah, and Colbrelli, I guess if you don't count him as a climber.
Colbrelli's a climber. We learned that today. Colbrelli, third on the mountaintop Alps finish. Who knew? He was actually
Who
a
knew?
climber this whole time. That's why he wasn't performing at the sprint stages at the start. It's because he was in climbing form all year. Yeah, so small sprints field. Cav could win a whole bunch more stages. Be pretty sweet.
Yep, coming for that Merckx record. Luke, any thoughts?
I think because UAE is so weak, there are actually some
Well,
opportunities.
They're not that weak.
they're not
I
that
mean,
But
weak.
like
They're quite
compared to
strong.
like
Yeah.
compared to Ineos or Jumbo Visma, or well, what they were.
I'd say their
like-
current team is stronger than Jumbo's team, who's still
Really?
at the race.
currently,
Who's still at the race?
Currently. not me,
Anyway.
but I mean,
But
Yeah.
they're not used to this style of controlling the race, and so there's still quite an opportunity for someone to get a really good break. It's going to be tricky though, because obviously Carapaz couldn't do it because Pogačar knows that's his only kind of threat, really, is Pogačar, Carapaz. So has to be someone down, and then they do a massive break and take the yellow, and that could happen. But other than that, it's not going to happen. Mark Cavendish, I really hope he wins more. I think that'd be amazing. I know there's a whole conspiracy. I don't know if it was conspiracy or if it's fact that they didn't let him race in the Tour at one point because Eddie Merckx didn't want his record to go, and the team he rode for was like in good terms with Eddie Merckx. I can't remember the whole story, but he wasn't allowed to race because they knew he was going to break the record. So it's nice to see that he is doing it now. And there's some good montages of him like weeping because he thought he just had his last race, and then it cuts to him winning. So I hope he wins overall and gets the green jersey.
yeah, I guess that's all the stages so far. Let's amend our predictions for the next 6 stages because it's 5, 6, I don't know, until the next rest day, because we picked a lot of people who are either not on form like we thought they'd be, or are not even in the race anymore, or crashed or injured, just like we had some bad picks for the next few days. I've been doing the Instagram stories, and I've had to say, oh, like Luke picked like Caleb Ewan, who's not in the race anymore. And it's like, well, let's just change that so that we
That my lead is assailable.
So let me open up the pick list. 1 second, please.
I don't know who I'm going to choose because it was easier when we were doing it because then we were looking at every stage in the profile. I don't remember them all now.
Yeah. Well,
There
we'll
should be a
just
list
figure
on
it
the
out.
internet, is there not?
Yeah, you can just look at this. So here we
So
go.
tired.
I got it here. So stage 10. Evan said Jasper Philipsen. Would you like to change it?
Oh wait, no,
I'll
no.
stick
You
with
can only.
Phillipson.
Okay, here's
Okay.
the rule.
Cav might be
Hey,
tired.
hey, guys. The rule is you can only change predictions if the rider you predicted is out of the tour.
What
That's
if
the
they're
rule.
Okay.
heavily out of form?
Yeah,
It
like
doesn't
that, you
matter.
can change.
No,
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 if
no,
if
because
they're
then that's
like,
no fun. Because then
if
I
they're
Phillipson's
could
in
just
form.
crashed.
I will happily
Like-
stick with Phillipson.
what if they crashed or something and they're injured and you can like they're still there?
they're still
like
in the
Geraint-
tour.
Like Geraint Thomas, for example, should be able to.
Yeah, I still think he's gonna come second overall. Obviously.
Bold prediction. What is he like? 30
Nah,
minutes down.
I think we should change it if they're injured.
Okay.
Only if they're injured.
right.
If they're really good. So Phillipson, keep it. I said Caleb Ewan, so that is going to Cav. And Luke, you said Cavendish, so good for
I
you.
did.
How do I spell that? Okay, there we go. Stage 11. Evan, you said Pogacar. I said Carapaz, and Luke said Alaphilippe. So I guess we leave that as is.
Yeah.
Stage 12. Evan, you said Caleb Ewan. Would you like to change that?
Yeah, let's give Cav a shout. Cav could win today.
Okay. I said Peter Sagan, and
You're gonna stick with Peterson.
well, I don't have a choice. I probably would like to change it, but I don't have a choice. And Luke, you said Greipel. So
Yeah, I think Greipel will take it.
Did Greipel
Okay.
make the time cut?
I don't think did he?
I have no
I'd-
clue.
I'd be shocked if Greipel made the time cut.
Me
I
too.
feel like
Man.
I don't know. We'll leave it. And then Luke, if you didn't, just text me. Just text me. I'll change it later. Okay. So stage 13. Evan, you said Arnaud Demar. So
This
he's
is a
obviously out of
long
the race.
stage.
He's out of the race. So who would you like to change Arnaud Demar to?
You know what? Every year, the DSM or what's now DSM, they get some pretty good lead outs, and then Says Bowl just flubs it, comes 13th. But I'll give Says Bowl a shout out. I don't think Cav's gonna win every sprint stage to the rest of the tour. I think he'll win. I think he'll win
No.
most of them, but not
No, he'll
everyone.
win all. Okay.
I
you're
don't
right,
think
you're right.
Buhani's gonna beat Cav. I think Says Bowl, if he has a good day, can beat Cav.
Okay, I said Phillipson, and Luke, you said Wout Van Aert. So that brings us to stage 14.
Is Says
Where?
Bowl still in the race,
Pretty
by
much.
the way? If he's not, I'm gonna look silly.
I don't really know.
So many people. We'll see. If he's not, then I pick Cav.
Stage 14. You said Hershey, Evan.
Oh,
Yes.
can I
He's sort
change
of-
from Hershey?
He's injured, so I think you can change it. That should be allowed, right? He's like actually injured. What do you think?
Oh, is he injured?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he was very badly
Yeah,
injured.
fine.
Okay, you
Give
can
it to
change
him,
it.
why
You
not?
can change it.
So this looks like a break stage.
And then we have
if I've
Victor
ever seen
Campanella. Let's
one.
go.
Let's give Soren Krag Anderson. He's been trying. I think that was Mark's pick.
I think this stage I said Campanella.
Oh, I'll say
Um,
Craig Anderson.
But Craig Anderson, come on, I need you to do something for my fantasy, buddy. I've had you since stage 1, and you haven't.
He's been trying.
Whatever. He's been trying. I know he's been trying. It's not for lack of effort. One of these days, something because he got 2 last year. He should be able to get one. Yeah. So Luke and I both said Campanard, so that stays. And then, when is the rest day? I can't.
After stage 15.
Okay, so stage 15. You said Cosnefroy.
Hey,
I said
okay.
Pogacar, and Luke, you said Geraint Thomas, so you can change Geraint Thomas.
Pogacar.
Alrighty then, that brings us to our next rest day, where we will have another podcast. So, Anything else we should talk about? I think
Mm,
that covers everything.
Should we? Are we allowed to change our GC podium because we all put
Oh.
Primos first?
Yeah,
Good
that's a
idea.
good show.
That's a good idea. So yeah, we all said, so Evan, you said Roglic, Thomas, Pogacar. What is your new podium?
I mean, Pogacar has taken top step. And then it's whether Carapaz second, third, or not on the podium. I'm gonna go Carapaz second, Uran, Rigoberto Uran third, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna have to have like some extra points if you're right from the beginning, but actually none of us are
Yeah.
because we all had Thomas and Roglic 1, 2. So I did
I
have
had Dan
Carapaz
Martin
3.
third.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think he's lost a lot of time. I had Carapaz 3rd though, so I wasn't too far off. So I said Roglic, Thomas, Carapaz. I'm gonna change that to Pogacar, Carapaz. Third is gonna be
Vingegaard, Lutsenko,
well, I know.
O'Connor.
I feel like let me just think for a second, right? I feel like Kelderman, like he's been struggling a little bit.
TT was
Um,
terrible.
Yeah, but he's like not gonna have 2 bad TTs. I'm not gonna pick him.
Could have two TTs.
I'm gonna think. I'm gonna pick. I don't want to pick the same as you because that's like boring. So I'm gonna go. Not O'Connor. I feel like he's gonna lose.
I mean,
He'll be
he's
in the
got
top.
a gap.
He'll be in the top 5, but I don't think he'll be 3rd.
He's
I'd
not a
love to
good
be wrong
TT.
though. I'd love to be wrong though. I'll go Lutsenko. Luke, you said Roglic, Thomas, Martin.
Am I allowed to, wait, can we change the whole thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
change the whole thing.
Okay, first, obviously. Wait, is Mark still Primos first?
No,
No.
Oh, I'm just watching the spreadsheet.
not in the race. I'm just
Um,
He's
having
gonna come back.
He's gonna come back, retake it. Takes 30 minutes off GC. I think yeah. Pogacar wins, obviously. And then Carapaz will be second, O'Connor third.
Like, can I put
Good.
Lachlan Morton first?
No.
I mean, he is. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's gonna get there. Like,
Zero. Yeah,
like-
he's zero. He's gonna beat him there.
well, he is. That's sort of a easy bet. But yeah. So who just have 3rd? O'Connor.
O'Connor.
Right. No, that auto-corrected to O commercial, which is good enough. Get the idea? All right, I think that brings us to the end of our podcast. Any final things you'd like to say, guys?
No. Oh, yeah. Check out our Instagram. Make sure you see our giveaway when it comes out.
Instagram is @Zone2Podcast. And once again, thank you, Born,
That's all.
a lot for sponsoring us. You guys already know where to go,
Yeah, it means a lot.
bornsportcare.ca, Zone2 Podcast, 15% off. Okay, thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Adios.